Okay,
You
so
put your camera just a little bit more inside
yeah,
because it was in the
yeah, we don't want it to fall off. So,
yeah.
okay, we're live at Keste in Manhattan's financial district. I'm here with Roberto, who is running this place, and he's here to talk about his journey from southern Italy from I believe southern Italy to also Naples in southern Italy to Pittsburgh to New York City. If I missed anything, please let me know.
Yes. Well, you missed small passage in Jersey, but just for a small amount of time.
Okay, I did see that when I read your bio. So, based on what I read, you've been in New York City for 12 years now.
Yes.
Okay, and you also run a pizza academy out of here where you put people through a 10-day course.
Yes.
Okay. And how have things been going here since the pandemic? I know this place is probably double or triple the size of the location I used to eat at on Bleecker Street.
Unfortunately, that part will be no advantage to us apart from this last period of time, because most of the time the city was closed. I don't understand. Don't tell me why, but it was that way. What we did for the day one, I tell this: never give up. We need to be very creative and proactive because that is the way we save ourselves. And the most important part is save all my employees. I save all my earth employees, the most important for the two Keste here in one place. And we have 41 employees work all the time since the pandemic. Never give up one employee.
So 41 employees are still here. Joy, thank you. You said we sound good. Where are you joining us from, Joy? And when you join us, just let us know where you're joining us from. We're in Manhattan's financial district at Keste. We're here with Roberto drinking some carbonated natural spring water, Barbara di Larissa. So that's what we're drinking. And we're going to be trying, do you know what we're going to be trying yet, Roberto?
We tried the burrata fritta, the montanara, the fried pizza. After that, we tried the pistacchio salsiccia and the new items. It's the Roma-style pizza, a square pizza. We tried to do 2 months ago.
Okay, so we have Joy joining us. Okay, so Joy, you're from the East Village. Have you been to the old Keste location on Bleecker Street in the West Village? By the way, when I was there, at Keste, I've only ever had the Regina margherita. And that's all I've ever had at Don Antonio, which I believe is a sister store?
It was sister store. Now is my daughter there. We are split with my partner, so my daughter ran the place. She needed to do an experience, so she'll be there, and I'm by myself here for now.
Okay, great. Also, Joy says fried pizza sounds great. Okay, in my plan. Okay, great. Now, do you have any vegan options here?
Yes.
Okay, because I noticed you have a gluten-free oven and then oven for everything else.
Yes, here, this oven here is a gluten-free. The other oven is for regular pizza. We have a different door room for the gluten-free. And then we have for the regular pizza, and for the stuff, 2 or 3 options vegan. We don't use a cheese vegan, I don't believe in that. I believe it is supposed to be cheese. But I use a lot of vegetables or different items. Okay, would be not the cheese.
Now the marinara is, okay, my understanding of pizza, I've only been to Naples once and it was for about 2 hours, so I'm not gonna try to act like an expert here, but in Naples, we have Inri Nor. Nora, where are you joining us from? Okay, so.
Lucio, I have one truffle fried burrata and one montanara, one. One for truffle and one regular.
Montanara, one?
Yes.
Burrata?
Burrata, fried burrata. Yeah.
Okay, so I brought my appetite. I hear Roberto ordering quite a bit, so I definitely saved myself for Keste here. And my understanding is pizza in Naples, the most basics are the marinara and the margherita.
Yes, the montanara too, the fried one. The fried one is really popular. It's the basic is born at the same time, around 16th century.
Okay. And, okay, why, okay, let me ask you this. I don't go to the dollar slice joints, but this is the one thing I wanted to ask you about. What's the difference between the pie we're about to eat now? Hi, Gina, where are you joining us from? So what's the difference between what we're going to eat here and these dollar slice joints you see around Times Square?
I think it's big difference. First of all, the flour use the ingredients. The flour is from Italy, the oven is from Italy, the technique is from Naples. The quality is very important. The way we make the dough is totally different, and so all pizza you can compare it. It's totally different. It would be no good for the margherita. Is not good for the $1 joints. It's not right to compare these two. I will not call them pizza anyway.
Right, I don't eat it either, but I do want to say, like, I want to say probably maybe 2013-ish, a cousin of mine brought me here and we tried a bunch of different pizza places. Keste was one of them. And since then, I've never like tried the dollar slices we're talking about. I prefer a whole pie just for myself, fresh out of the oven. I don't even like to reheat it if I don't absolutely have to. So if I do it at home with a pizza stone. But I'd also like to ask you about your ovens. Are the components from Italy?
They are shipped. Two big oven from for the gluten-free for the regular pizza. They come one piece. It's called a Punto oven. It's from the center of Naples. And this company make an oven for over 100 years. And the stones come from Sorrento, called Cotto di Sorrento, and they are volcanic stone. It's very unique for the form and for the ingredient. And the other oven we have in the back for Castelli from Rome, for Roma-style pizza. We have in this location we have eight oven because we teach people.
Eight ovens.
Yes.
Otto.
Yeah, and so that is each oven make a different style pizza, and that's very very important for us. We pay a lot of attention the details, the everything for that.
Okay, Gina's joining us. It looks like from Pennsylvania. So, so far we got New York, Pennsylvania. Nora, let us know where you're joining from.
What city in Pennsylvania?
Gina, what city in Pennsylvania? So how long did you live in Pittsburgh, or did you live in Pittsburgh?
For 7 years.
7 years. Okay. I don't. Are any of your restaurants still active there?
No, for me, but other people take it. I recommend this restaurant. It's called Piccolo Forno. It's in Lawrenceville. Okay, it's in the New Brooklyn. They call. It's really good. Dominic is one of my students. Really good. And in very close there, it's another my student open in Shady Side. It's called Mercurio.
I've been to Mercurio. I've had their pizza. I've had their gelato, and I think there's a place downtown called Stone, maybe.
Oh, another very important. The person that bring me over is Il Pizzaiolo in Mont Lebanon. Romoli now is the guy bring me from Naples to here. In fact, you see this picture here is they're from Pittsburgh. I still feel a Pittsburgh person, so I still one of my city after Italy is Pittsburgh. Of course, New York now, but pizza is in my heart all the time. The people from Pittsburgh is in my heart all the time. I miss them.
So I'm originally from Pennsylvania. Gina's joining us from Drums, which is near Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, that area, a couple hours west of here. So I never visited Pittsburgh until my mid-30s. I think I was 36 years old when I first visited Pittsburgh, even though, because I grew up on the other side of the state. But Pittsburgh's a very underrated city. I know, like, I've heard, like, I know
city.
It's been ranked one of the most livable cities. I don't think there's any parts of Pittsburgh where you'll see the kind of rents you see here.
No.
But, you know, the idea about, like, America, I don't know if you heard this growing up in Italy, but if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. That's what we're told growing up.
I think that's true. So.
Yeah, I mean, from here, like, I don't know where you would go. I know chefs from New York open up in other places, but
it's many different cities. I'm a very lucky person. I tour over 60 different cities in America because I'm training people for Neapolitan pizza all over the country, and I see a lot of beautiful cities in America. For example, not many people talk about San Antonio, Texas, a beautiful, incredible city. Pittsburgh or Seaside in Pensacola. amazing city. All these city, I was in Tupelo, Mississippi, a really nice city too. Very important anyway for many reasons. But so it is America is beautiful and it's diversity. Seattle,
I absolutely love Seattle.
but Chicago, Madison, Wisconsin, beautiful, gorgeous city. Milwaukee or Green Bay. So they are, each city have a characteristic and they're very different. That's the beauty in America. Oh, Denver, Colorado, for example. I don't know. That is of course, San Francisco. Los
Cupola. Cupola is where I went for pizza when I was in San Francisco. That was a long time ago, but Cupola is.
I don't know them. So they're in San Francisco. It's Tony Gimignani. There are one in Napa Valley. I've been many times. Is called Cannoli Osteria. That's very good. So there are many. I can make the list. There's very, very many pizzeria that I know. I help them in Delray Beach in Florida, for example. There are two. So I see many parts of the city in Key West, Hollywood. Is one of my
favorite
best
road trip,
employees.
Key West.
It's one of my best employees. I opened there two pizzeria.
So you have people that are cooking for you here that go and open in other locations.
Yes, and our training people. I did training. We did training over 600 people, in the 300 people. Sorry, 300 people in the last 12 years.
Okay, so first of all, Joy's asking what's the best-selling item on your menu.
In this moment, the montanara and the margherita, of course.
So we're going to get to see at least one of those?
Yes, both of them.
I've actually never had a montanara, so it's going to be interesting to try that. But I want to ask you, why the academy? Why do you want to train so many other people?
This is the reason. For me, food is a love. For me, food is history. And spread the word the way is really, really authentic Neapolitan pizza was my mission. When I was coming here from Pittsburgh, there was only two pizzerias you can call really Neapolitan pizza. One was in Pittsburgh, Pizzaiolo, and one in California. All the rest was named Neapolitan, but was not Neapolitan. There was no existed. Now there are really many all over the country. I think it's a part. This one I did a very important job for that. For me, it was my history. I tell all the time. Naples pizza is over 300 years done in that way. If you want to, you bring the pizza on the table, you don't bring just pizza, you bring one piece of the history. And that's for all food you do it. If you go to Rome and the cacio e pepe or the spaghetti, what is the name, carbonara, that is a piece of the history bringing the table. It's not just food for heat. It's a part of the culture why is playing that. And I think it was important to let you know what is really Naples. People are scared of the city, but it's a really beautiful, incredible city and have an amazing story. Okay, they're born the pizza born there, for sure.
It's undisputed, right?
No.
Okay. And it's the red, white, and green. The white is the mozzarella, the red is the basil, or sorry, the red is the tomato and the green is the basil, right?
But the first pizza was just white. It was a 16th century, was a Mastro Nicola. It was a lard, pecorino romano, and basil with no tomato because there was no exist tomato yet. The tomato was a 17th century, born in Peru, in Europe from the Spanish, and bring in Naples. There they start cooking, and they put in the first time on top of the pizza 1756.
1756.
Yes.
Okay, I know we're kind of jumping around here a bit, but I wasn't going to bring this up, but you brought up Chicago. What would a true Italian from southern Italy, which is where my family pretty much comes from, what do you think southern Italian would think of Chicago-style pizza?
There's no pizza.
It's
cake.
Pie? It's cake. Okay. Most people just say it's like a tomato pie. Okay, so it looks like we have some food coming. Now, I also want to mention, we have Joy from New York, we have Gina from Pennsylvania. If you want to let us know where you're joining from and ask Roberto for pizza suggestions, because I'm really glad that he's not, just plugging his own place here, which is excellent. I highly recommend it. I'm going to actually take a picture here. And like I said, if you want local pizza suggestions, please ask Roberto. You have the expert here who's trained people around the world. And I'm just taking a picture too. And
there are
so,
two montanara. That is one the regular montanara, the original, and that is the truffle.
Okay. Okay, have you ever gone truffle hunting?
Yes.
Okay. I'm actually just going to get a shot from above. Maybe this will find its way onto my Instagram feed at some point. So the idea of frying the bread, like pre-frying, I guess, the bottom, is that an American idea or was
No,
that?
in Naples.
Okay. All right, so that did not start here.
No.
Okay.
We bring over here in the first time in New Jersey.
Can you move your elbow over just a little bit? Your
Yeah.
left elbow over just a little. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Let me pick up the cardio.
Got it.
Dammi.
Okay, so sorry, I just took a few pictures. So Joy, actually you asked a little while ago about what's the best-selling item on the menu. I'm going to show you what we have here without hopefully having the cheese run off. So this is the montanara, and then I actually forgot the name.
The montanara truffle.
Okay, this is the montanara truffle. So he's going to cut the pizza. Now, I've seen pizza cut with scissors. Where does that idea come from?
Rome.
Okay, so
In Naples now for the new modern.
okay, so yeah, we're going to try two items that I've never actually tried before, and it looks like we have something else coming.
No, one thing over there. I'll take a.
Okay, so I'm just going to hold this up really quick. This is, it looks like fried burrata.
Yes, it's fried burrata.
Okay, so I'm just going to get a shot of this real quick. And,
I help you with this one, so.
okay. Yeah, so here we are, we're cutting it. What is montanara? So, Gina from Pennsylvania, montanara is just, I believe the bottom of the crust is, the bottom of the pizza is fried before
Yes.
it's cooked. Now, what's the peak temperature, the high temperature of your oven?
It's 850 degrees.
850 degrees. Okay, so if you want to understand why, like, you can't duplicate this at home, and why the ovens are, you know, maybe thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, I'm going to get a shot of this real quick, and I'm going to hold it up for you. Shit, hold on. All right, one more, sorry. All right, perfect. So if you're wondering why you can't duplicate this at home, there, perfect, thank you. Grazie.
It's destroyed now.
Are you willing to share, like, what would a, like, if you wanted to try to, like, do this in your backyard or something? I actually know a guy who has an oven in his backyard, and I know it wasn't cheap. What would a professional oven cost?
I'll explain you what you can do it.
Okay, he's stepping away for a minute, and I'm gonna try the burrata first. And yeah, so we have two pies here so far. And the crust, like, you can, I'm just gonna hold this up, and it's very delicate, so I would typically, I'm gonna ask him the proper way to eat it. I'm gonna put my own personal prejudices aside.
Okay,
And
this
just,
one con here con 90 con $100. You can buy this one over here. Is a Forzaforni stone. Okay, and you can put on top of the grill, or you can put inside the oven, and you have a really good result.
There you go. Now, do you sell that here?
We sell here, but you can buy. You go on www.forzaforni.com, and you find the stone. Special stone that they make by hand. It's the best you find in the country.
Okay, yeah, so that's not the kind of stone I have. I wasn't, a lot of times we don't think about, like, we think of pizza as something very simple, and in a way it is, but am I correct in saying you just have to have the right ingredients first?
There are the right flour, the right ingredients, and the right technique. And if you can have the right tools, it will be much better. Or you can make work. We can help them, so.
Okay, so what should I try first?
The burrata.
Okay, so I'm gonna remove the mask here and try the burrata. Now, I'm just eating it like this. No,
Yes.
okay. So now, is this made in-house?
Made in house because I started to make pizza when I was 38. Before I was a farmer and cheesemaker. So it's never too late for change your career. And we make the cheese here every morning from the cord is come from Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's Belgioso. I like that kind of cord, so because of course it's Italian. but because the quality they make it. So
Very soft. I'm trying to think of other words to describe it.
you need to try that one first. Oh, sorry, this one first.
Now, should I eat this with my hands?
Yes, absolutely.
So, I'm going to eat this with my hands. If I'm breaking the etiquette rules, you could just
No,
let me know.
you need to go to bed. That is by hands.
Okay, so the bottom is a little crispier than usual because it's fried. You could, what do you fry it in, by the way, Roberto?
We use a special oil from Italy. It's called the oil is Oil Italia. It's done with in the University of Bologna. Is sunflower oil with rosemary and vitamin D. That
Did you
makes
say vitamin D?
yeah.
Okay.
That consent to have a low point smoke. They have a better result, no residue in the pizza. And usually the montanara, the original montanara, it was just fried. And they put the salsa on top with some cheese, the Parmigiano Reggiano. This one we did a different step. Antonio Starita, my teacher, put inside the oven after when the ingredients stop. And in that way, all the extra oil evaporate and melt the cheese. And it's really, you don't find very oil. It's a really unique flavor.
This is very, like, I can remember the margherita regina. Ewan, where are you joining us from, Ewan? Favorite cheese? Yeah, your favorite cheese. So, I'm sorry, this is burrata?
No, that is a water buffalo smoked mozzarella from Naples.
That's why it tastes different from the margherita, the regina I used to have here, because the smoky flavor is different.
Yeah, that's but it's not very oily. As you see, it's not. It's you see your hands is pretty clean.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. They're not dripping or anything like that. There's just a little bit of oil on my hands. So, one thing I think about pizza is like you have to eat it right out of the oven. It's not like let's say like the Thai coconut soup or something like that. You could reheat it and it's pretty much just as good a day or two later. Like,
I think we work hard in the last years for make sure when we do the since last business was just delivery, we find a way the delivery the right way. So
go ahead. Sorry.
and so you can have a good result of a pizza at home. Plus, we start ship all over the country.
So you ship it frozen.
Yes.
And then ideally, like for example, in my apartment, you can't cook higher than I believe 450. So I do 450 and use a stone.
For 8 minutes.
Yeah. But in your oven,
It's already cooked, so you need just to frost and reheat it that way.
okay. Which one should I?
This one now?
And now this is truffle.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're trying truffle, and is this also smoked?
No, that is us mozzarella we make in the house.
Okay. So now,
What do you think?
Wow, this is. When I don't see red sauce, I feel like, oh, it can't be that good, but this is. Like, I'm always expecting to see, like,
That was my mention. I was in Aspen in Colorado for the food festival there, for food and wine festival, and was next to me the fryer, and I was make pizza. I have all truffle. I was with Urbani that time, so I decided let me try, and everybody went crazy. So we put in the menu now. It's a truffle cream, and then we put the truffle cream and the mozzarella and basil and put back inside the oven.
wow.
So I was telling you before, this was a discussion the other day, somebody was, okay, when you're frozen good product, you have a good product. If frozen bad product, you have a bad product, of course. It's not the same, perfect the same you eat here, of course, but still very good. So we are very successful in that way. And we deliver everywhere in the city. We have a new machine. After the oven, come in the oven, go inside the special box. I explained to you. And go inside there. Is no exit. Since delivery come, and the delivery don't last 20 minutes being home.
Now, another question is, let's say I took this home.
Yes.
What's the best way to store this?
But you could put in the cooler, and when the next day you put the hot pans in the stove, and put that inside. When you see the cheese melted, it's ready to go. If you don't want to put it in the oven.
But should I try to like put it in an airtight container?
No,
You don't have to.
You don't have to. You just said that the container. I'll give it to you.
Okay, I'd like to have another piece.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So don't worry. Go ahead.
Okay. So here I'm trying another piece of the truffle. And again, if you want to get pizza suggestions in your
Fammi
city,
una
feel free to
margherita,
ask.
regina margherita e una pistacchio salsiccia.
Okay, now regina and appetizers.
Yes.
The oil really makes a difference in this one.
Geronimo. Yeah. Mi chiama Geronimo.
So
Geronimo.
yeah, thank you, Gina. The cheeses are different. Like the smoky flavor on the montanara we had is definitely different. So
Antonio, per favore, fammi una lasagna gluten free.
Yun, I make you
lasagna
hungry.
gluten-free.
Are you
Red
cooking
one.
anything today? And then where are you joining from? So, Wisconsin cheese.
Yes.
Americans are taught that the best cheese is in Wisconsin. Is that your experience?
Absolutely, yes. I told you my background was farmer cheesemaker, so I consider myself very respect for that. And I told you before, I started to make pizza when I was 38. I never made pizza before or cooked before that time. So it's never too late to change your
Yeah,
career.
exactly. It's never too late. Yuna's saying send me some. You could order from your website, right? Or is it Goldbelly?
Goldbelly.
Okay.
So we have a new company coming now, but for now it's Goldbelly. You can go to my website, they take in Goldbelly, and they ship overnight.
Okay.
All gluten free too. So all us menu, all the pizza we see today, the burrata was gluten free. All the pizza is down here is done gluten free too.
I'm sorry to hear that your oven broke. So I'm gonna have another piece of this. Actually, this is really
We have
delicious.
2 more pizzas coming.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually hold. Thanks for telling me that. So I didn't realize there's 2 more pizzas coming. So I probably shouldn't have even had that other slice.
Fammi un
So
quadrato
yeah,
di-
I hope you get that fixed.
regolare.
Yeah, Ernie, where are you joining
Un
us from?
quadrato.
Roberto's happy to give pizza suggestions in your city. He's been to more than 60 American cities. And I'd also like to ask, how often, if at all, do you go back to Naples? Like pre-pandemic, I guess we should say.
Every 3 months, 4 months, I go back and see my family, and my family is 2 hours from Naples, so I go see Naples all the time.
Now, have you heard of Leonessa?
Yes,
East of Rome, right?
yes.
That's where at least one of my great-grandparents came from.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice place. They're very close where the amatricianas come from.
Could you say that again?
Amatriciana, the pasta amatriciana,
Okay.
it's very close to there.
Now, I have not been to Italy in 15 years, and I think even like in the little bit of time I spent there, I think I just had no idea how regional food is in Italy. Like, I guess a question is, pizza is looked at as a Naples thing, but have other styles of pizza, like I know in New York here, you have like Roman style pizza with the like cracker kind of crust.
Yes. Okay, there are 2, every city have their own, I don't call them pizza. That's what we find all the time. I call them focaccia. Their own
Okay.
focaccia. In Sicily, they have the sfincione. Okay, it's the grandfather for the Sicilian pizza here. It's very high. You have a focaccia barese, it's really amazing in Bari. You have in Rome, they have the square pizza, it's my favorite. And the very crispy pizza romana, the round one. The best example you'll find here, it's in Feroce, do you remember the street? Is inside the hotel, Feroce restaurant.
Okay.
I recommended that.
For Roman pizza, I've had Marta on 29th Street.
No, that is not good example. Sorry.
Okay, that's the only one I know. That's
No,
why.
no. You go try the Feroce. You'll
Okay.
be surprised.
All right, so when we're done, we're going to exchange. We've already been messaging each other, so I'm going to get your suggestions when we're done, so I could figure out where to go next. Because, by the way, I know Joy lives here, but for those of you that don't live here, it's been really tough. We've lost, I believe, more than 1,000 restaurants if you add up all the 5 boroughs. Indoor dining is still limited to 25%.
35% now.
Is what?
35.
Okay, so it's still like barely at a third.
No, still, some of the restaurants don't have if I was a Keste, my original place was open, I have a 11 seat.
Right, so
It
basically...
would be not make money, so impossible.
Exactly. I went there, so basically picture 3 or 4 tables, and you have like, that was a popular place. I remember waiting an hour at one point to get a table there, so I'd been there a handful of times, and if you can imagine, if you don't have a larger space like this is very difficult for you. But
This is
again,
the reason we closed that place. Unfortunately for us, it was but I don't want to risk the integrity of my employee and my customer. It was impossible to be safe in that place. Here, we have outdoor seating, and there we can do outdoor seating. Plus, we have a space between one table and the other table here.
yeah, so this is one of at least like, because when I originally got here, Allie, I believe is her name, she asked me where I want to sit. And I was like, well, wherever it's most quiet. And this is probably the 4th section she walked me into. And I'm like, okay, the oven's here. We got to do it from here. And Roberto agreed, which is great. And yeah, so we're basically in a place with some space. Now, there's something that I'm really curious about since we started to chat. Why open in the financial district? That's like not really known as a place to go for great food.
Because I was thinking that was a really great opportunity for the foodor. I was seeing that. I moved myself living around here too, from the village. And plus here it was a big space. We did the production center in this place, plus we did the school. Because when my daughter, we teaching people, it was very hard to wake up in the morning, but we can do an unprofessional class. So that was the problem. And that, for us, this is the new one, items.
That looks like a dessert.
No, it's gluten-free lasagna.
Gluten-free lasagna. Okay, I'm going to get a shot of that so I can see it before any of you do. And
let me do it because it's very hot.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to hold this up, and I want to kind of shoot at the basil, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Like the basil.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. All right, so if you could just move your hand. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, so you want to hold this one up, you said? So this is gluten-free lasagna. Well, lasagna, besides around the holidays, I don't eat lasagna often, so this is kind of a treat for me. And I could see the layers. Like, if you look really close, I could see there's got to be, like, quite a few layers.
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you had this on the menu?
5 months.
Okay.
That is something new we did for what the pandemic bring us to do that. So.
Yeah, I mean, you have to adapt. And I think, like, the reason I asked you why this area, I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to find the right apartment here, how hard it is to find the right restaurant. And pre-pandemic, I'm assuming, like, places kind of filled up fast, just like apartments did pre-pandemic. Like,
yes,
if you drag your ass, so to speak, like, that apartment may be gone, that restaurant space may be gone, but
I think that for us it was very important. The good decisions to be here. I'm very happy for that. And in the long run, so this is now the location where you come here. You're safe. You have a different place to be. You can come a big party. You can make a reservation. That is very important for us. Make us employee, but us customers safe.
Now, I want to mention a couple things. If you're coming from New Jersey and you're taking the PATH train, this is not terribly far. I'm just trying to put this on a map for people who aren't from the area. This is not terribly far from the World Trade Center PATH
5 minutes.
Stop. How far?
5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Because I walk every morning from there. So.
Okay, so I'm sorry if I'm making you repeat this, but you said you've since moved to this area yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
I live in Battery Park, so I do pass the PATH train every morning. Come here, I walk. I take from the PATH train. When you exit the PATH train, the Oculus, from here it's 5-6 minutes.
And if you're not, I know like a lot of you've probably been to New York, especially if you're from Pennsylvania, but this is really a walking city. You don't really use a car here unless you like don't live anywhere near the subway. But this area has excellent subway service, and it only takes me 15 minutes to get here. I do need to use a bus because it's about 1.2 miles for me each way. But I was able to get here on the M15, no problem. But this gives me kind of another reason to come down here, you know, now that you're here. Because before that, I kind of like I went cycling in this area, and
For 1 block here to the Fulton Center, you have the A, the C, the E from the other part, the 2, the 3, and they have the J and the Z. And 1 block more, you have the yellow R and W.
okay, yeah, yeah. So, and if you don't live here, you don't know how valuable that is because most New Yorkers do not have cars. So if you just want to think
No,
about,
I'll tell you.
okay, so it looks like we got more pies coming.
So you try 1 piece of that where we can move it?
Okay, so how much should I take? Like corner?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, so I think we're seeing what I used to get when I would go to the West Village location. So, oh, okay. Oh, sorry. All right. So,
Dammi la forbice.
okay, so now we got the, is this the Regina?
Regina margherita?
Okay, I'm gonna step off to the side and take a
Yes.
picture really quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so, and then if you just move this over a little bit, I want to get a shot of it against the
There's a
wall.
pistacchio salsiccia.
One more.
This pizza and the montanara, they are the favorite pizza for Guy Fieri.
Okay, I saw Guy Fieri's picture outside of here. This is the second time this year I've actually gone to a restaurant that he recommends. So, okay, so I'm gonna try the lasagna.
Yes.
Okay, taking the mask back off. And yeah, so Guy Fieri recommends this. He has a few. I went to another one of his suggestions in the East Village, so I could tell you, like, based on this and the other place I went to, which is John's of 12th Street. He has good suggestions. So here we go. So this is mozzarella, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They are ragu and it's gluten-free.
Okay. So here I'm trying lasagna for the first time since Christmas. And we have 2 more pies here, Regina, and I already forgot the name of the other one.
Pistacchio and salsiccia. There is a pistacchio cream and sausage.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just adjusting this a little bit. Yeah, so you could definitely have a full meal here. It's not just pizza, because if you look at their menu, they have like maybe like 10 appetizers, a handful of salads. Wow. So that's the Roman.
Yes.
So with the Roman, I was expecting the crust to be thin.
But depends what you have. So this is the new style, Roma style from Bonci.
What's Bonci?
Bonci is the most famous pizza maker from Rome for the square pizza.
Okay, so I'm finishing the lasagna, and it looks like I'm going to be trying 3 more slices.
Geronimo, troppo mozzarella, meno. Se no è... Meno mozzarella, fammi un altro pedazo con meno mozzarella.
Okay. So now we actually have the scissors here, and I'm getting a new plate. Thank you very much, Roberto.
You're welcome. So I explain why the Caesar. We changed the dough recipe last month. So this recipe, this flour is pre-fermented, this dough. So we have 24 hours inside the nuvola from Naples, for Caputo flour. And so it's pre-fermented for 24 hours. After that, we put the type 1, which is another flour inside from the same company, look like 20%. We make the rice for another 24 hours, and after make the balls, and we can make this pizza. So that was they cut that now in Naples. I use my hands because you see they want to see.
So if I'm going to just tilt down as far as we can here, and this is what I've seen at a couple other restaurants. Roberto's actually cutting the pizza with a pair of scissors, and it looks like this is the one we'll be trying next. And there you have it. He's just cutting this, and this is what I've had pretty much every time I've gone to his old West Village location. I've always had the Regina. I'm very much a traditionalist, I want to mention, when it comes to pizza. The only pizza I really eat on any kind of regular basis, besides margherita, is the...
You can use your hands, please.
Yeah, sure. Okay. The clam pie.
Yeah.
That's now, does anybody eat clam pies in Italy?
No, Anita is not very famous. Clam pie is very famous in New Haven. From the pizzeria is called
Frank Pepe.
Frank Pepe, yeah. And you don't find many clam pie. You find people sometimes with the shrimp or calamari, I know what the clam pie.
Okay, Deborah, thank you. We're in the financial district of Manhattan, and let us know where you're joining us from. So I'm going to eat this with my hands as well. And I don't think I had this at Don Antonio. I'm looking, it was February 2019. So it's at least been a couple years.
2 years.
Now, obviously, the crust on here is not fried. And you said your daughter is working in the theater district now?
Yes.
Okay. So is food, I know you grew up a farmer. Is food a tradition in your family?
Yeah. So my mom was very good cook, and my sister is amazing cook now, pastry chef. And so I was surrounded all the time from these people. And I started cook when I was 38 in the school, and I come here, and I changed my career. But because I explained before, for me, it's not just food, it's a history, it's a culture. You bring a culture on the table, let people know that. That is very important. So what do you think of this pizza?
It's still my favorite, but I like the montanara. I was expecting it to be very heavy and make me feel like, ugh, but not at all. So, put it this way, next time I come here, I will probably try the montanara. Because I kind of get in my ruts where, like, most of the time when I go for pizza, it's margherita, regina, something like that. Once in a while, a clam pie. Like if I go to Lombardi's, it's usually a clam pie. Nora, me one a piece too. Thank you. Where are you joining us from, Nora? Okay, so what am I trying next?
This one is one of our famous pizza now. It's pistacchio cream we make in the house. It's pistacchio, Parmigiano Reggiano and oil, dust mozzarella, and sausage from Spaico. Spaico is in this Bleecker Street, is one of the most famous pork store in Bleecker Street.
I feel like I know Murray's is the cheese shop. What's the name of the meat store?
It's a Spaico. There are a few, Ottomanelli.
Oh, okay. So, do you say pistachio or just pistachio oil?
Pistachio cream.
Oh, pistachio cream.
We blend the pistachio on the oil and the Parmigiano Reggiano. So you film the lasagna?
So, the dough here is much softer, I feel like. And this is mozzarella cheese as well, right?
Yes. So what do you think of the lasagna you had before, the gluten-free?
Yeah, that was good. It was a little different. I noticed like it wasn't as heavy on the sauce as a lot of lasagna I have.
No, that's very light in the sauce.
Yeah.
Very important. When you have a food you need to be enjoy, and don't put 100,000 pound salt on top. They cover everything. If you have a good pasta, a good meat, and so you need to test everything. And that for us is the balance. Pizza is a balance. You balance the cheese, you balance the crust, you balance. The crust is very important. You cover on the tomato sauce, sometimes pound cheese. First of all, the cheese for be in that pizza would be so bad because you can charge enough for. So it's better have the just amount of cheese. I feel. That's my personal opinion, and have the and have the right amount of the mozzarella, the right amount of the sauce and so. That's
So,
it.
I always feel like, why do people order extra cheese, extra sauce? Like, you shouldn't have to do that.
We don't do that.
Right. I mean, I've seen, like, especially growing up, people used to do that a lot. So, I would never, like, I like the balance here, and every slice I've tried has been totally different. Like, for example, if I came here by myself 4 days in a row, I could, like, try one of these each day and not get bored, which is nice.
Plus, we have a salad and some other appetizers. We have a mozzarella and prosciutto we make here in the house, mozzarella, and a very nice dessert too. So, selection for dessert.
Yeah, that's something we didn't talk about yet.
It's coming. So, we're coming with the new the pizza. I take this away. So, what do you think about this one?
Good.
Your favorite still the margherita?
No, I'll say now, since then, the margherita is probably my third favorite. The montanara, the truffle, the margherita, and then the one I just tried. If I had to rank them.
I was imagining that. The montanara is very unique flavor.
Yeah, I just, in the past, I never ordered it because I just expected it to be so heavy, like, but it wasn't. I think on your menu you actually say lightly fried.
Yes.
I thought I read that on your menu before I headed over here. So,
Somebody ask a question or?
yeah, so these are comments. Nora wants a piece too. Yeah, so hopefully, Nora, wherever you're joining from, hopefully you'll be able to come here soon. I believe the most recent thing I read that was, if you're vaccinated, you should not have to quarantine when you come here. And to be honest, if you're arriving here by bus or train, nobody's going to ask you any questions. If you're, I can't speak since I don't sleep in hotels, but if you're staying with friends or an Airbnb, like, there's nobody stopping you at the tunnel. And I'd like to ask you, since the pandemic happened, how long, like, what about, like, your trips? Like, how often do you actually get out of the city now that, you know, travel's so limited?
Unfortunately, I was in Italy last month because my mom passed away. I went there. I took the test and I went. I took the first vaccine last week. So, and I was travel in Las Vegas and San Antonio. Not much I want because I love to travel, but that is so. This
Let me get a picture. So yeah, that's definitely thicker bread. I'm gonna just, if you hold it, do what we were doing before. That looks nice. 1, 2. Okay, and then one more. Sorry to move it. 1, 2. Maybe I could use these someday. I always try to get pictures wherever I go. Okay, so sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was in San Antonio 2 times, and I was in Vegas, and because I used to travel every week now, so since the pandemic, I'm here all the time. And I was very pay attention on the mask, take the test, and I was travel, no problem, from New Jersey, from the United.
Okay, Newark.
And Newark, yes. And I have the first vaccine last week. We try all the restaurants now. Thank God in New York City, the restaurant employee they are considered first look like the same way the doctor kind of stuff. So we already have 5 people inside the restaurant that already did the vaccine.
Well, that's good to hear. It's gonna, hopefully travel will start to rebound a little bit once that happens. And, you know, now, percentage-wise, how many, like, are most of your students in the school, are most of them coming to New York, or is most of it you traveling?
80% in New York, and there are 20% that go there. But most of the time, when the 80% come here, they call me for help them for set up the place.
Okay, so you actually get involved to the point where you help them set up the restaurant? Okay. And what are,
Sometimes they just find the location too. What they,
yeah, that's something people don't think about. Like you see, like in New York, you stay away from a neighborhood for a month and you come back and there's like 2 new restaurants. Even now, even during the pandemic, but a lot of people don't think about what goes into getting the right location. There's a lot of things to consider. So you, at one point, you were running this location along with the Bleecker Street location.
yeah, all 3 together was come from here.
Okay.
Don Antonio, Bleecker, and this one was all together. It was all the stuff was made here. The idea was to have the central function because we have a better quality, a better cost, cut the cost for the employee that was very high. And that was now we turn around. We have an incredible delivery system now. We do that from Brooklyn, part of Brooklyn, across the bridge to 79th Street, each way.
Okay, and if you know, we're well below First Street. We're way below First Street, so that's pretty far going up to 79th Street. Now, have you? Okay. So basically, you've been in the West Village. You're in the financial district. You're also in Midtown.
I was Midtown, no more.
So this is it. No more. You're not looking to open any other locations.
For now, just focus on this one. I want to be sure new items, the menu will be right and kind of stuff. I'm focused to work 24 hours, not 24 hours a day, but the last years I was every day here.
And you have family. You have at least one daughter.
One daughter is here, so she's a pizza maker too.
Okay.
I think one of the best one, not because of my daughter. They consider she's the youngest woman win the competition in Naples.
Okay, so, and she's at Don Antonio,
She's Don Antonio.
which is either 50th or 49th Street.
50 between 8 and 9, very close to 8th Avenue.
You just take the one train or the
Yeah.
one or the ACE.
Yeah, all the ICE, you stop there and the E or the C or the 1. And you have one block from there, and it's a really unique place. It was my favorite place, actually, in that way, how business was. Guy Fieri was there, so it's a really, really nice place.
Okay, so Darlie actually has a TV show on Amazon. She's joining us. She says, nice, that place is great. Evidently, she's been here. Yeah, Darlie, if you ever do a pizza episode, this will be a great place to stop. Definitely check out Travels with Darlie. She's also doing vacations right now. So thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, darling. We are waiting for you here, so.
Yeah, Darlie, you missed 5 items, I believe, and this is the 6th. We have Roman-style pizza, which I'm going to hold up for you. And if you have any questions, this is Roberto himself. He basically runs a school as well, so he helps aspiring. The word would be pizzaiola.
Pizzaiolo.
Pizzaiolo. He trains and aspiring pizzaiolas, helps them open the restaurant, and there's how many. Do you want to mention any places you help get set up in New York?
In New York, is one of my students is Luca Rigoni from Sotto Casa. They have one analyst student work in Zazza's Pizza now, use us gluten-free, Domenico Tolomeo.
Okay.
And they have in New Jersey, some other place, Porta, in Asbury Park, and
Wow, that's
Jersey
pretty far.
City,
Yeah.
in Jersey City. They have a Porto, I think it's still in New Jersey too, I believe it. And that is people I remember New Jersey at this moment. I even more because it's a lot. In Pittsburgh, I told you before, the Piccolo Forno, Mambo Italia, and Mercurio. And the Pizzaiolo, of course, is my guy that brings me over here. I'm very close to them. If you go to closer to the Miami, in the Red Beach is Rose's daughter, and Scuola Vecchia is just moved another place. I don't remember the name now. If you go to the what's the name? Key West.
Okay, we talked about that.
Yeah,
earlier.
Hollywood. If you go to the Marathon Beach, is Il Postino. It's there's work in Washington D.C. was Via Sofia, and in Chicago, I recommend the Spacca Napoli. In outside of Chicago, in is fiamme. Oh, in New Jersey there are fiamme, two fiamme, and there are new fiamme is the first one. Roma style pizza will be open soon. They're very good. In Salotto Zarletti is in Milwaukee. I'm training another one in what's his name? A very small place between Green Bay and Milwaukee.
It's not Madison, is it?
Madison has been in one place. It's closed now, but it's Domanta Pizzeria is there. I recommend that too. In Arlino Pizzeria is in Domanta Pizzeria is in North Carolina. There are one in Atlanta, outside Atlanta. So there are many. So I can still
Yeah,
I
so
can
there-
keep on going and going.
Should we try the pizza?
Yes, you need to try the pizza.
Okay, so
Pick up this crust, this part. I recommend.
I'm trying the Roman style pizza, which is thicker than what I'm used to eating. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Before I chow down here, I'd like to ask you, when you're not eating your own food and other Italian food, do you want to tell the audience like what other kind of, you could get almost, New Yorkers take pride in you can get anything here. What do you eat when you're not eating Italian food or pizza?
Okay, it's my favorite restaurant in New York. I can tell you that is Emilio Ballato and Feroce. Feroce is closed now, or Antica Pesa. There are two of my favorite places here. And Emilio Ballato is in East Austin. It was the oldest restaurant in New York City. Other cuisine I like it. The second place after Italian, of course, is a Peruvian restaurant. And then after that is a Japanese sushi. That is my 1, 2, 3, and of course Mexican, because I've been in Mexico City many times, so I like Mexican too.
I just visited Mexico City for the first time back in November.
It's amazing food city. So. That's my favorite 3 restaurants. So this type of restaurant in the city, my 2 favorite. They have Feroce and Emilio Ballato.
Now, style-wise, we agree on at least 2 of my top 5. I always say number 1 Italian, number 2 Thai, number 3 Peruvian, number 4 Greek, number 5 Georgian. So we agree on Peruvian, ceviche, lomo saltado, pato con arroz. Like those are some of my favorites.
Leche de tigre.
What was the one you just said?
Leche de tigre.
Okay, that one I'm not familiar with.
It's a soup, basically, so really, really good soup. So.
Have you been to Peru?
Not yet. It's one of my next trip. That is I've been in Argentina, amazing meat. I've been in Mexico. I've been Turkey and Caicos. And I'm close to the sea in Italy, so I like a lot of fish. So I'm very for that.
Well, I hope you get to visit Peru. Argentina, Buenos Aires was the first South American city I ever visited, so that's a great place.
Incredible city. So.
And a lot of people don't know this. A lot of the people there are like a lot of Italians went there.
50% Italian, 50% Spanish. That is the life. The people in Argentina.
Yeah. So, if you're looking for like a more affordable alternative to like Rome or Paris, I highly recommend it. If it's not like I know it's like a 10-hour
Buenos Aires
flight
is,
from here.
I recommend the city to visit. It's a really incredible experience.
Yeah, not the best place for vegetarians, but it is a great city.
Yeah, of course, you go there for meat, for sure.
Okay, so we've tried 5 pizzas, lasagna, and burrata. I think so. That was the 7th thing we've tried.
Now you're ready for pizza dessert.
Okay, yeah. So thanks for hanging in, everyone, especially everyone who joined from the start. It looks like we're trying one more thing,
Lucio,
and
maybe
then we're going to say goodbye. So
one
again, if you have any
Caprese,
questions for
and then
Roberto
the
or even
gelato,
for me,
one pasteria,
feel
and
free
one
to fire
tiramisu.
them off. As you heard, he loves making restaurant suggestions, and he's lived in New York, it sounds like, at least for 12 years. So that's, yeah, nothing else to say about that. So I'm going to have myself a little bit more of this sparkling water here. And then I also want to mention, we will be uploading this to YouTube. So you may end up watching this on YouTube if you watch it during the week. So It's youtube.com/Brian May Rome. More water?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so
So what do you think of the Roma style pizza?
it's good. I didn't get a chance to ask you, that was all mozzarella or was it a mix?
It's a mix. It was my mozzarella that we make here in the house and secret cheese from Belgioso. Secret cheese is basically mozzarella with the grana padano inside. Belgioso is an Italian company from Green Bay. They make this amazing grana padano style cheese and they mix it with this mozzarella. It's a secret cheese. I recommend the call Belgioso try. Belgioso you find in any store. The stracchino, it's really amazing. It's Italian cheese. The grana padano is really good. It's compared to the Italian grana because they come from the area where we make the grana padano.
Okay.
I'm very crazy for cheese, so I'm really obsessed about cheese.
I could tell. And if you're at a store and you want to get decent cheese, you said Belgrio, how do you say it? It's right behind us.
Belgioso.
Belgioso. That's a safe bet.
Yes.
I'm mentioning
If
that
you're in
one
New York
because
City-
it's in so many stores.
If you're in New York City, I recommend two places. Di Palo, it's an amazing experience. You have
That's
over,
in Little Italy, right?
Yes. Di Palo is one of the most incredible experiences for Italian cheese. You find so many cheese there. And of course, another one that's pretty good is Buon Italia. More cheese, it's pretty good too, but I like more Di Palo. I go there with low Di Palo, we start talking about cheese, and we have incredible experience for that.
And now Mulberry Street's the main drag, so it's basically 3 or 4 blocks of, there's like probably
Yes.
a dozen restaurants on each block. Deborah is asking what the address is. I used 66 Gold Street, but I noticed you have 2 addresses on your
No,
website.
60 Gold Street. 60.
Okay. Okay, so the 2 different names and addresses, it's the same building.
Yes. In basic, you have one block from Seaport, and 2 blocks and upper from the new tower, from the
Okay.
Freedom Tower.
So, yeah, and Deborah, we're in the financial district, by the way, so you just, if you just go to their website or just 66 Gold is easy.
If you come on the subway, you can do the Fulton Center, the main subway. Or if you come from New Jersey, you can have the PATH train and there. So.
Yeah, so this is very easy to access. I took a bus here because the F train doesn't like to run on weekends, but and that wouldn't work for me anyway. I'm just complaining about the local subway service. But yeah, I came on here on the M15 bus, got here in less than 15 minutes, so very easy to get to. I don't recommend driving in, but you can if you want to. And I just say that because I don't recommend driving in most of New York. So
It was crazy for most years. So driving New York was very easy. So.
okay,
this-
so I drove in Italy once. I was staying with a cousin in Rome, and he's like, you know, you're not staying here long. You only have one day. Where do you want to go? I said Naples. So he worked for a car rental company at the time, and he let me drive on the highway from Rome to Naples, but like he would not allow me, and I did not want to actually drive in the city. So I got us to like the first traffic light when we got to Naples, and we switched drivers. And so even as people complain about New York traffic, it's nothing like Italy.
No,
Okay.
they don't have idea what's going on with Rome or in Naples.
Right. Like I said, my cousin did not let me, and I did not want to drive.
I would not recommend anybody to do that. So
Now, we talked about you going up to DePaulo and Little Italy.
yes,
Are there any other neighborhoods that you go to shop?
yeah, Faeco in Bleecker Street
Okay.
and Buon Italia in Chelsea Market,
Okay.
and there the fish market there too is very interesting. They buy the fish there, and sometimes Italy too is very interesting. The cheese is really unique cheese there, and meat is fish is very good. A little more expensive, but it's a really good quality for sure.
Now, do you prefer the Little Italy in Manhattan or the one up in the Bronx?
But the Little Italy in the Bronx, I think it's really, really Italian. I prefer that way, if it be Little Italy. Here in Manhattan is fake.
Right. I mean, okay.
The
for
most beautiful neighborhood for Italian neighbor is in Boston, North End in Boston.
I
it's
love it.
Really
I was there
the only one.
3 years ago. And then now, I know the popular place there is Mike's. People line up around
Yes.
the block for the cannoli.
But they have so many places there that you can tell. It's really, they speak Italian, they are good generation. And you feel the Benita there. And the art revenue is the same in that way. You have La Casa della Mozzarella, Tade Brothers. They have so many stores inside the market. Can you feel an Italian? More the Little Italy here. Little Italy is really, I don't think it's really the example. For example, in one thing in San Luis, the hill in San Luis is beautiful Italian neighborhood.
Okay, now you're bringing up another question I wasn't going to bring up, but you brought up St. Louis. What do you think of that pizza? It's like Emo's. I tried Emo's when I was out there.
I don't call her pizza, sorry.
Yeah, so like that's what I mean. Like we've taken your invention and kind of like turned it into pie in Chicago, and then we've turned it into like what did you call Roman pizza?
Yes.
Focaccia.
Focaccia, yes.
Okay.
It's
But
focaccia, basically.
I'm glad you're at least willing to try. You've tried it. You've tried the St. Louis pizza.
Yes, I try. I've
Okay.
been there training somebody there. I try it. It's, for me, it's no pizza.
So when you go there, like
They call me, okay, in Pittsburgh, they would call me the pizza Nazi. Or
right,
the soup Nazi. So
Yeah.
Jack Ham and Frank Harris was call me that kind of name because I don't want to change the pizza. I would be very integrated that way. I understand why in America they did this kind of pizza because not the same flour, was not the ingredients, was not the wood. It was so they need to become more invented that. There was no pizza maker, most of it was farmer, shoemaker, all the other stuff invented that. No problem. But I think if you want to do, okay, that is different. It's not the same product. You cannot compare that. It depends on what kind of part of the Italy you come. If you go in Genoa, you find the focaccia genovese, amazing product, but completely different. If you go to the Bari, I thought it's different. You go in Rome, it's different. So each city, each country, each region in Italy, they have a totally different food. If you tell me where is the food in Italy, it's impossible to represent in one word. There are so many variable different.
well, that's definitely true. And I've been as far north as Florence and as far south as Naples, so I know I have a lot more of the country. My family all came from the south, so I don't have as much of an incentive to visit the north. I want to see Venice. So do you go, like, I know you mentioned a couple of your favorite restaurants are Italian. How often, like before the pandemic, did you go out and try an Italian restaurant? Like, I'm being specific here based on a recommendation, like a customer recommendation, a friend recommendation.
Every 2 weeks.
Okay. How often do you get out of Manhattan? Like, how many of these trips to different restaurants are outside of Manhattan?
But I go in Manhattan when I go work sometime outside Manhattan, so I try a new restaurant when I go in the place, and I try to be considered was the best. If I go in Texas, I try the barbecue. I'm very happy.
Like St. Louis. That's why when you were saying, like, when I go to St. Louis, I'm more excited to try the barbecue or the
Yes.
toasted ravioli than I am to try the pizza.
This is- okay, over here.
Okay, so it looks like I got a dessert. It looks like chocolate cake, but oh, it's warm too, with ice cream on top. And it looks like, is this a lemon?
No, I explain to you.
Wow, we have a few desserts here. I'm gonna
So
get a picture
the
quick.
tiramisu,
Tiramisu?
it's a gluten-free. We make a sponge cake gluten-free. The Caprese Cake is from Capri. And,
Did you say Caprese?
Yes. It's done with almond flour, so no flour, so it can be considered gluten-free. And that is pasteria napoletana, very famous for Easter time in Naples. And it's done with wheat. We do now, the last version we did was with gluten-free too.
Okay, so there's a lot of gluten-free options. One question I'd really like to ask you. All the dietary restrictions and things like that, when you came from Italy, like, did that surprise you? Like, especially in a place like New York, like, all the different dietary restrictions. I don't think that's such a thing in Italy, is it?
But in Italy is a Mediterranean recipe, the Mediterranean.
I'm gonna get a shot here.
Yeah.
Just
One
wanna
second, let me fix this for you.
Thank
They-
you.
They
I
have
knocked the ice cream off.
The food is really healthy, and the way you eat. And they have the most important. They have the right amount of the food. It's not so much extra salt, extra cheese. And that is not the right way.
So you got to do it right the first time, it sounds
Yeah.
like you're saying.
You want to try some special drink?
I don't really drink alcohol.
Oh, you don't drink alcohol?
Yeah, so
Because we have a special cocktail, so Italian cocktail.
I do a shot of limoncello every once in a while, but I don't like usually get cocktails, so to speak. Okay, so this is Caprese.
Caprese, pasteria, and tiramisu.
Okay, all right. Joy says awesome. Hey Joy, do you like tiramisu? Okay, let that close. I dropped that camera so the lens doesn't like to close. Which one should I try first?
I recommend the tiramisu, the pasteria, and the last one, the chocolate.
Okay, the chocolate last. All right, so I'm gonna take. Do I eat this mint or?
No, it's just for decoration. So.
Okay, so this tiramisu. It really looks like ice cream. Like the way they serve it, it looks like ice cream. So where is tiramisu from?
Venice.
Okay, so that's now to you from the south. Is Venice like a different country?
Yes.
Okay, that's what my cousins say.
We didn't put any liqueurs inside, just coffee, espresso.
Okay. And when you see Venetian cooking, I know I saw a place on Arthur Avenue that I think was Venetian. What does that actually mean?
But I don't know if it's really Venetian. So Venetian, they have all from Bologna to all north. From Bologna, so is the difference. The big difference is the way they cook. They cook with more fat, with more lard. The south is more oil, extra virgin oil. So it's totally different. And Venice, you find a lot of sardine. You find a lot of cheese, look like the piave, the polenta, because it's typical of Veneto. And a lot of fish, of course, because it's Venice city. If you go inside, you find more heavy food because the mountains, they are more heavy food. So it's totally different what you have at this. For example, one dish gets you find in Felidia, for example, is the frico, is a patata with the cheese on top of montaggio, montaggio and onions. Really unique, heavy, but really good. You go to Trentino Alto Adige, you start to find the cheese and heavy dishes, but because it's cold there. More cold you have it, and more you need to have the more. If you, for example, one big example is the gelato. If you have a gelato in Milan, you have a gelato in Sicily, completely different gelato.
Now, when I
The
had
gelato
gelato
is
in Florence, they were saying, well, we have the best gelato in the country. Is there any truth to that?
No, everywhere you go, they tell it's the best gelato is in that city, for sure. They tell in Sicily, they tell in... but the gelato in Sicily, for example, is more sugar because it's warm. In gelato in Milan is more fat, more butter fat. So because the temperature, humidity, you can need more fat in your body.
No.
So what do you think of the dessert?
I prefer that one.
Yeah.
This is probably my second favorite. That would be the third. I wasn't expecting to like this Caprese. I wasn't expecting to like it, but I do.
It's both the two, they are gluten free. So I told you our menu is 100%, can be 100% gluten free. So all the items we do gluten free too.
In Italy, you go there, you go back to Naples pretty often.
Yeah.
Is gluten free a thing there as well?
It starts in Italy because Italy have a big problem. Italy got the gluten free because we eat a lot of pasta. They have a last problem here now. Here, the biggest problem you have, the flour is very bad. Can you have in America? The flour is very use a lot of additive, is no milled the right way, and that doesn't make no good flour. And if you have a bad, eventually, if I eat that pizza, sometimes I become more intolerant. The people they have a celiac here, but there are a lot of people they want to do the gluten free because they feel that they're more healthy.
Okay.
It's not more light, it's more heavy. So if you eat gluten free for lose weight, It's no wrong way.
So, as far as
Espresso?
oh yeah,
Two
sure.
espresso.
Latte.
Yeah.
Espresso uno con latte.
Now in Italy, have they started doing espresso to go yet? Or
Yeah, you get not much. So they do in Naples, yeah. Naples is a city for the espresso, and they do in Naples, yes, for sure.
because I know Italians at first didn't get the idea of coffee to go.
No, because you can move at work and the espresso is very important. The bar put in a plastic cup and deliver it to you
Okay.
all the time. This, of course, oven in the bar is a different experience because the cups is warm. You know, it's a totally different experience in that way. So.
Now, for me, like you got the Little Italy, which you said is very touristy, not very authentic. Then you got the one in the Bronx. Have you ever been to Howard Beach?
No, I want to go there for sure.
Okay, because Cross Bay Boulevard and Howard Beach is like the third Little Italy. It's very suburban looking, but they do have, like on one stretch, they have a lot of restaurants. I've been to most of them. And then there's also a place in South Ozone Park that I highly recommend. Probably my favorite Italian place that doesn't serve pizza. It's called Don Pepe. It's about a mile north of JFK. It's on, what's the street? On Lefferts Boulevard. So if you ever get down, if you ever make it out to like South Ozone Park. No, Deborah, we did not try cannoli today.
You can want to try, so we can make it. So we just put it on because one of my employees bothered me so much. I don't want the cannoli because it was very typical Italian American dessert, but we did because we have a special ricotta from Sardinia. So we did the cannoli too now. But it's not my favorite dessert for sure. We have it.
Where is it from?
Sicily.
Okay. So that's why I was thinking like, I'm working on a story for Matador Network right now, and it's about Italian bakeries in the Bronx. And I visited 10 Italian bakeries in the Bronx late last month. And you know, I talked to the person behind the counter and I always ask, what's the most popular? Everyone, like I asked for 3 things. The only thing in common, they all said cannoli. Otherwise it was like the pignoli cookies, or there were some differences, but so cannoli is not one of your favorites.
No.
Okay.
My favorite is a pasteria, just one here. And I have the baba room.
Oh, okay. Now I will say I prefer the baba rum with cannoli cream as opposed to the custard. I'll eat them both way, but I'm glad you brought that one up. Thank you. Because that's,
Baba room is a typical from Naples, so.
Okay.
The pastry chef is Naples and really unique, so I believe. And Sicily have a cassata, is more sugar flavor, but cassata is very, very good too. So, but there are many, many different desserts that you. If you do Amalfi Coast, you have a ricotta pere or delizia limone, or there are many there that are really unique and regional cuisine. The regional cuisine in Italy is so different from one part to another part. It's hard to explain.
Right. Because in America, you usually just see Italian restaurant. Maybe if you get it like on a street like Arthur Avenue, then they'll start to distinguish themselves because there's so many different ones. But I never saw like a regional Italian restaurant until I was in my 20s.
For example, one from Bari, from Puglia, it's really, really good. It's a Masseria de Vini. I don't know if you know them. It's 48 between the 7th and 8th Avenue.
Now I've been to Puglia on Hester Street. You know where
I
it's...
don't never try. I don't
Okay,
know
I've
that.
been there.
But Masseria, the Masseria is really unique flavor from Puglia.
Okay.
It's totally different. So
Now Puglia is pretty far south, right?
yes, and I know it's one Sicilian, good Sicilian. Now is Norma. I never tried yet. I want to go. I need to go with my friend. They invite me. They open a second place. I told you my favorite go all the time is this moment. My 2 favorite, it's Emilio Ballato and Feroce. Feroce, unfortunately, is not open yet. You can go try the sister restaurant in Antica Pesa in Brooklyn. Feroce is really amazing for me. The atmosphere, food. I feel I'm it's Rome. I feel, and that way. So
Now, do a lot of people from Naples move to Rome?
some you find in Rome a lot from Marche, a lot from Umbria. So in Rome, via in Trastevere. If you go in Italy, I recommend Antica Pesa is here. Antica Pesa in Rome. I was just there in February. The restaurant is in 1920, I think, I believe it, open. And it's a beautiful place in Trastevere, one of the most beautiful parts in Rome. And the dish is so simple and so unique.
Okay. So we've tried, by my count, I've tried 10 different things, not counting the espresso. So I'm going to be able to walk out of here, but I'm definitely full after all that. But I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, one reason I don't eat the dollar slices is because, like, afterwards, like, I just don't feel good. So, but, like, that's not the case here at all. So if you have any other questions, ask now. I'm also going to be uploading this to YouTube. So I'll respond to any of your questions once I upload to YouTube. And as soon as we're done here, it'll be live on, it'll be up on Facebook, up on Twitter. So if you missed it, you'll have a chance to watch. Is there anything else you want to say, Roberto?
Just to take one question from us for the ingredients, all the kind of stuff. The school, we start to do online class a lot now because before I was very busy to do it. And then we start to do free again. You can check with me in my Roberto Capuruscio or Keste Pizza in Instagram or Keste Pizzeria in Facebook. If they have a question for me, I answer personally the question.
Yeah, and
or ask you, and you can turn to me the question.
Yes, and I can vouch for that because I posted something when I found out that their West Village location closed, and Roberto responded, and like that's how this came about. And we are 1 minute shy of the longest Facebook Live I've ever done. So we definitely talked about a lot, and I'd like to say thank you, everyone. If you're in the financial district, if you're in New York, come here. Thank you for all your time, Roberto. And
thank you very much. We are here, so we are open now. Next week will be 50% finally, but we have an outdoor seating. And come here, do the class with us, and learn to make Neapolitan pizza.
Yeah, and I'm going to post a picture later. They have at least a half dozen tables outside, so and there's heat as well. So definitely stop by here, and thank you, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.